You're listening to Keepin' It Trill with Amanda Wilson.
Hey you guys, what's up? It's Amanda. It's another episode of Keepin' It Trill. This week, returning all-star guest, Marie Williams. What's up, Marie?
Hey, what's up, guys?
How you doing?
Doing pretty good. No, you know.
We were just making fun of me for being old right before we started recording because I got my first pop socket the other day at the, what do you call it? The recommendation of my friend Rachel, because I was telling her that my carpal tunnel's acting up from typing for 9 years, 40 hours a week. And she was like, oh, you need a pop socket. And honestly, I feel like it made it worse. But I don't know how I'm supposed to hold it good. Like, sometimes I do this. Is this right?
No.
Listen, I'm so fucking old. But yeah, I'm not even pop socketing right. But my printer died the other day. I was trying to print out a shipping label at like 9 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden the printer was like, yeah, we're not going to do that. Absolutely not. Yeah. And I had just put fresh ink in it.
Dude.
That's like printers, your car breaking down with a full tank of gas
honestly,
in it. You're like, fuck me.
God, printers are so inconsistent and terrible.
They are so terrible.
That's what the library is for. I will never
well, the
ever
library
invest
isn't even open right now because it's like
true.
Rona 30.
That's true.
Because I thought about that too. I was like, where can I just go print one sheet of paper? Like, what are the options?
Like, truly where?
I don't
tried
know.
to do it at Staples and it was an ordeal. But yeah, you can do it at Staples.
They'll print one sheet of paper. I thought they only did like posters and shit. But how much is it?
Like 50 cents. And even that's too much.
Yeah.
Oh,
like, you know what? I need to start because I ended up buying a new printer the next morning. I need to rent out my printer to people who don't have one. I could pay for my printer and only a couple prints. Really,
Ooh.
I mean. I need to start advertising that on Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
Send me your and it's a wireless printer, so I'm like, you can get outside my house, wirelessly print, and I'll bring it out to you.
You have a wireless printer that actually works?
I don't know. Knock on wood, I just got it, so it might break really soon.
Oh my god!
But
that's
I've only printed one thing and it worked
personally. I don't know what
like
that
Bigfoot.
Is, but
like I've heard tales of this, but I haven't witnessed it myself.
Oh my gosh!
I really hope it doesn't break because I was pissed.
Dude, yeah. You know what's funny? Speaking of Bigfoot and stuff like that, do you listen to like the Something Planet? Stuff?
With John,
So I listened to their episode and they were talking about like the
spin-off podcast, the mysterious.
Yes.
Okay, yeah, Hugh is like a co-host on that. It's the Mysteriousness podcast. Shout out to Something Planet.
Yes, I really like them. But they were talking about like the skunk ape in Florida and stuff, right? And you know, not only is it an insult that that's our cryptid, you know what? Everyone else gets Jersey Devil is cool, Mothman cool. We get
Loch Ness Monster, Nessie.
We get what is essentially like a chimpanzee that's on rabies that probably escaped some redneck's farm and is like terrorizing the town. You know what I mean?
Well, and if it is a true skunk ape, given Florida's history of monkeys with herpes, it probably has an STD as well.
Exactly.
Coming to a downtown club near you, the skunk ape, to fucking spread his herpes. Sounds like Bad Night on Downtown St. Pete.
Exactly. Oh my gosh, that's the Florida term for like, you know, bears.
A dirty dog. Oh
yeah. We don't call bears that in Florida. We call them skunk apes. Okay.
So is it supposed to only live in South Florida?
I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember.
Oh, I don't know why you said skunk and I heard skunk, but I was also thinking swamp ape.
Same thing.
Do they stink? I didn't hear the episode about the skunk ape.
They do. Yeah.
I saw the Mysteriousness episode with the psychic. I don't know if you saw that one, but no. I have been like desperate to get an appointment with this lady ever since, and I don't even really fuck with psychics. But it felt like an infomercial. I was like, I'm sold. I'm fucking sold. Take my money. I don't care. Like. It was wild. She was like getting like, I was watching her and she was like, wait, I'm feeling something. Whose name is Bob? And everyone was like, we all have a family member named Bob. It was like,
I mean, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, it wasn't that general, but I was just like watching it happen. I was like, wait, I'm kind of sold on this right now.
Okay, shoot. I might have to check that episode out. I remember when that came out, but I never got a chance to listen to it.
Yeah, now I'm going to have to check out the Swamp Skunk Ape.
Yes, that was a good one.
What is the nickname for that? It's like Nessie. And you know what I always fuck up? Because I never say the right thing. I have it in my head, but I always fuck up. And Sasquatch is the other name for Bigfoot.
Yeah.
But I always accidentally say Satchmo, which I think is like a trumpet. Isn't that like Louis Armstrong or some shit? Like... Do you know what I'm talking about?
I don't know, no.
Yeah, I think that's another name for someone who used to play music like in the 40s.
Oh.
But yeah, it's definitely not Satchmo is not living in the woods in the Northwest. But
in quiet nights, sometimes you can hear the
listen, if
jazz
I ever
away.
said something right, I feel like there would be a rip in the space-time. I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Things are getting crazy.
Shit.
Have you been watching any fun shows lately?
You know what I've been doing is really, I've been, when I get into these strange headspaces, I start watching things I did as a child.
Oh, okay.
So have you ever heard of this YouTube series called The Most Popular Girl in School?
No, but what is it?
It's so 2000s. It's a YouTube show where like they voice act over Barbies. Like talking, what? Yeah, and they're like they say the F word.
You said Barbies, right?
Yeah, Barbies, and they're like there's like stop motion Barbies, and they're just like they have the most annoying voices. I'm like, this is exactly what I needed. Like,
I feel like stop motion doesn't get enough credit because it's such a pain in the ass and takes so long to do it. There's not enough of them, but like, are you kidding? Wallace and Gromit was fucking stop motion.
Slaps.
Yeah,
what a masterpiece.
And World Police or whatever. Remember that movie? That was stop motion too. That's
great.
Yeah, I just watched that not that long ago, and I was like, how the frig did they get away with this? It was so insane.
It was a different time.
It was I know, like R.I.P.
Wonderful.
I've noticed that there's like, there'll be a week where I don't even turn on the TV, and then I'll watch TV all day. So yesterday was my TV all day. I woke up, I did a couple productive things, and I was like, I'm gonna rest, and then I haven't really done anything to earn the rest, but I'm gonna rest right now. So I started watching this show on Netflix. It's called UnWell. It's a mini series.
Ooh.
Highly recommend, because if you like docu-series and stuff, each episode, I think there's 6 episodes, and I watched the first 4, I think. The first one is on essential oils. Fun. So they they go in like the seedy underworld of like all these things that people like act is like the miracle cure. So there's an episode on essential oils. The second one is tantric sex, whatever, where people, you like put your hands over people and they're like orgasming. Yeah, that one was wild because the lady who was like this coach in Mexico, first of all,
listen, all scammers go to Mexico.
Yes,
right?
because
all
you're
dogs
not
go
allowed
to heaven. All scammers go to Mexico. That's just the rules.
That
baby.
needs to be on a T-shirt like yesterday. Yeah. All dogs go to heaven. All scammers go to Mexico.
It's true.
It is true, and it's not the Mexican people that are the scammers. No. It's the white people from America that go there to scam.
Yeah, like every state has hunted them down. It was like, hey, stop.
Yeah,
and they're like, no, I can't. And then they go to Mexico.
I know. There's like a warrant out in 7 different states. They're like, I guess we got to go to Tijuana now. Yeah, it's the last frontier. They'll never catch. They don't care enough to come south of the border.
It's so true though. Like every single scammer ends up in Mexico. Like Tijuana, like all of those.
I forget. She's in like some really weird little village that she like explained the name, and of course she had a horrible Spanish accent, but she's up in the hills somewhere on her MacBook Pro, and she's Skyping, and they show on the thing there's like 12 squares of people who are all in their homes, and they're all coming together on screen with her, and it was like
my
yeah, it was a lot. I mean, there was no genitals. They didn't show anything, but these people were legitimately having orgasms on screen. And I just remember at the end, this one guy was like, "Ooh, I really needed that," and I was like, "Oh, this is too personal, right?" Like,
that's weird. So wait, what's the how?
You're supposed to be able to like look into your partner's eyes and like place your hands above their body and like channel energy and make them have a full body orgasm and all this stuff. So like, there was this one couple from Georgia, which, okay, this is my thing. If I'm going to sex therapy with my partner, I probably am not going to participate in a documentary, give my full name, where I live, show pictures of my children, because that's what these people did. They were like, we're from Atlanta, Georgia. I sell boiled peanuts.
No.
Yeah, he does. He sells boiled peanuts. And they showed a picture of like his oldest daughter. If my mom or my dad is getting sex therapy, I don't want to be featured in the story. I just don't. I don't even. Obviously, they banged because I'm here, but I don't ever want to think about them banging ever in my life. No. So it just was wild. And he is like a bald-headed guy with a big, long gray beard. Totally looks like a biker. I mean, he was a sweet guy on the thing, but he just looked like a biker. He's not the person that you want to see coming, really, is what I'm trying to say here.
Nobody, I feel like anybody who does these things aren't. You know what I mean?
Well, okay, so the couple goes for his main issue because he doesn't love himself, so I guess he can't come or something. They just alluded to things, and he was so they did their workshop together, and he was like crying on the table, whatever. And then the next day they had the ladies workshop where all these ladies go, and it looks like a yoga room. Everybody has their mats out, and all these white people are doing all these horrible white dances. They're all doing this, like, you know, like it's like Dave Matthews Band just started playing. And then she was like, growl if you need to, howl if you need to, just unleash yourself. So all these women have their eyes closed. They're all growling and coming, standing up, and then they all start crying at the same time. It was a lot.
That is some cult
Yes,
shit.
I need you to watch this because it was fucking wild.
Honestly, I need that's some cult shit.
Yeah.
Man,
this was my rest day yesterday, watching all this shit. So that episode was wild. And then of course there's some guy who was like, this all comes from India, so pretty much if you're just getting together in a room full of people and fucking, this is cultural appropriation. I don't know if you know this, but so he was like mansplaining why they shouldn't be coming and crying together. And then the third episode, this one really freaked me out. It was about adults who drink breast milk for powers. They think it like, one guy was a bodybuilder. One guy thinks that it kept his prostate cancer away.
Is it men who do it? It's
men, on the
right?
show, it was all men except the women who produce. They also, I guess, drink their own. But there was this one family, and there was this lady. I think they lived in like Beaverton, Oregon, or something like that. And the husband was making breakfast, and they have 2 kids. And he's making scrambled eggs, and he puts he was like, we incorporate this into all of our meals. So, I mean, can you imagine going over to dinner for someone's house, and they're like, oh yeah, this is made with Susie's.
Whips it out, squeezes it.
Yeah, she's standing over the pot, just like doing, and she's like, we don't measure,
like
we
a
just
sriracha bottle. Yeah. Oh no.
We just eye our recipes here. But it just, and this other bodybuilder guy was convinced that it was going to help him like cut weight and all this stuff. And he did have results, but he was also going to the gym twice a day for like 3 hours. So I'm like, I mean, maybe it's your obsession with working out that's giving you these results.
And I've heard of this for some reason. I can't remember. I went through a phase where I was on Reddit a little bit, and like they would be like,
I've gone through Reddit phases. Yeah,
and there'd be like interesting stories or something, and I found something where it was like, apparently there's people who drink breast milk, and this is one of the websites where the women are selling their breast milk on, and it's just like the men who are requesting it are all asking for like supple white ladies, and it's also very racist, and it's also like I'm pretty sure there's also ties to eugenics too, because they're like obsessed with where the breast milk comes from.
Well, yeah, and so they were saying because they were showing people like the users, the producers, and there was like a scientist lady who did a lab research. They went and collected, I think she said 103 samples from websites. Like people are selling it on Facebook Marketplace. Yeah, first of all, like you're selling your breast milk on Craigslist, and they got all the samples and people mailed them to the lab. They didn't realize that it was going to a lab or whatever, but they got all these samples, and they said that 3/4 of them had disease-causing bacteria in them, because there's good bacteria in it that like helps with the baby's gut health and stuff. But they were saying that 3 of the samples out of 100 had salmonella in it. And they said that a lot of it is supplemented with cow's milk. So these people are getting scammed. I mean, honestly, I feel like if you're buying breast milk off the internet, you kind of deserve to get scammed.
Yeah.
But you can't even trust a lactating lady these days. Like, they're putting cow's milk in there.
Hey, listen, you can't be pregnant all the time.
These people, their kids were like old. Like, I think her youngest kid was like 3, and then she had like a 6-year-old. Yeah. Oh. And they kept calling it mommy's milk, as if first of all, they didn't even have regular milk in the house. So I feel like they didn't need to say that. They're training the kids to be a little extra weird. Because like, if you're out in public and a grown ass kid is like, give me some mommy's milk, I'm going to be like, ugh, get out of here.
Yeah, oh my God, that's vile.
Yeah. I mean, because there are people who will breastfeed their kids until they're like, if you're going to elementary school, you got to get off the teat. I mean, I feel like way before that, but you can't be so... but also, I feel like a lot of those kids are probably homeschooled, if you think about it.
I mean, now's the time population. If you want to breastfeed, ladies. Breastfeed your 6-year-old. Do it now. In the privacy of your own home.
And breastfeeding is I mean, I know you've never done it, but it is fucking the worst. Why would you want to be like, I'm never going to stop doing this?
A living's a living, especially when you
they only are selling it for like $1 an ounce or something, and it's hard to get it. Yeah. It's like... Yeah, and I'll never forget, I mean, granted, this was at NASCAR, but one of the worst descriptions I've ever heard about a lady, like, post-childbirth or whatever, she was talking about childbirth and breastfeeding and all this stuff, and she was like, yeah, I gave up on that shit because it makes your nipples look like hamburger meat.
Yeah. Anyways,
there is no part on my body that I want to be compared to ground chuck.
Listen, I guess maybe your vagina, but like my vagina is more like prosciutto. Like at least it's a higher quality meat.
Yes, it's like a high class meat that you put on a charcuterie. Like
exactly.
I don't want to be beef tartare, bitch. Like,
oh no. That's no. God,
yeah, it was upsetting.
It's just all pain, no gain. You know what I mean?
And one common theme that I noticed through all of the episodes of the UnWell up to season or episode 3, there was at least one blue-haired lady in each episode.
Oh my God.
So that just kind of tells you the level of unhingedness that's happening. Because as someone who had a blue hair phase, I can say things are usually not optimal at that time.
You're going through some things.
Yeah, you're searching for something, and it just haven't quite gotten it yet.
And it's not having blue hair, and it's, oh my God, that's hilarious.
Yeah, something else weird that happened to me, I haven't been going to therapy since I don't have a job because I don't have insurance anymore.
Sure.
And I mean, things are kind of holding together, knock on wood. They're like duct taped together, but things haven't completely fallen apart mentally.
That's good.
But I have been having some weird things. Like one of my big things that we always talk about is irrational thoughts. I deal with that a lot. And I know you have a joke about like intrusive thoughts, and I feel like they're cousins. Mm-hmm. So the other day I had a FaceTime date, and I was like all set up for it. And on my way home, I was going home from picking up my food, and the whole way home I'm freaking out and I'm thinking, oh my God, the cops are gonna bust down my door with a warrant while I'm on FaceTime. And
why?
I haven't done anything. I've never had a warrant issued for my arrest before.
But why?
I don't know.
You have all your drugs legally.
And this is something that I was like stressed out. I was like, how am I gonna explain that I'm getting hauled off to jail? Like luckily I didn't get arrested that night. I made it out. But like that was a legitimate thought that was in my head. I'm like, bitch, you are crazy as hell.
That's so fun. I mean, like for what reason?
I don't know if it's just like I have like Breonna Taylor shit on my mind. Like I don't know what it is, but for some reason I was like, oh, they're coming in here. But I don't know why I thought that it was only going to happen while...
Yeah.
Like there was going to be someone to witness it.
And I like how your main concern would be like, oh my God, that'd be so embarrassing.
I know.
Oh my God, if I got arrested, imagine.
I know, I'm like, he's probably not going to talk to me if he like saw me get drug out in hand.
Oh my God.
And then I'm thinking, well, what are they coming for? And then I was like, what have I done? I'm like, did I run that red light? I started like
Amanda.
Yeah, I get
no
cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, bitch.
Your brain isn't very nice to you. That's not. Oh.
No, my brain is not nice to me at all, and it's really actually pretty rude. I just bought. I'm going on my first COVID trip in October, and I bought a new suitcase the other day. I finally found one on sale because I got a hard shell. Did I ever tell you about what happened when I went to Los Angeles the last time? My checked bag.
No, I don't think.
Have you ever had any bad luggage? Like, have you ever gotten your luggage lost or anything like that?
I've had it searched, and then because my luggage was searched, we missed our plane. But other than that, that's the only thing.
What happens when they do that? Do you get another connecting flight for free, or you have to pay?
No, you get another one for free. God, what a waste of time that was. That lady sucked. It was literally like we had to go through as
What did
fast
they
as
think you
possible.
had?
Because I had my mom gave me a jar of spices for Christmas, and I had it in my luggage, my carry-on or whatever, and she just very carefully took everything out one by one, and I'm like, we gotta go right now. And
I feel like the more of a rush you're in, they're like, oh, now I'm gonna slow it down. It's
like I was just staring at her thank you for your service.
TSA agents do not give a flying flip.
And you're doing so much for America right now. Thank you for looking through all my stuff.
You're real heroes.
Real heroes. Imagine we waste so much money on that fucking job. I have
and
no.
What do they ever even find? I mean, let the people have their drugs.
Come on.
We need these drugs to deal with the fucking American system.
I know so many people who have smuggled drugs on planes.
Well, I feel like the trick to it, or the key to success, is to not put it in your carry-on. It has to go checked.
Really?
I think so.
Huh.
Because hypothetically, if I ever smuggled marijuana home from California, it was in the checked bag, and it might have made it back.
Right.
It might, yeah.
Right.
If I was to do that, I feel like it would make it back. But the carry-on is where because that's where the bomb makers, they're putting it in their carry-on because they're gonna have to detonate that shit.
But don't they look through the X-ray and stuff in the checked bags?
Yeah, but unless there's literally something in there that says XXX explosives or there's drugs in here, I feel like or unless they get a tip off. If you have a crazy ex and they're like, Marie's coming through with 3 pounds of heroin.
Oh, true.
And they want you to get arrested on FaceTime.
Man, your mind is fucking crazy, Amanda. Your mind, I am whiplash right now. I'm like, wait, get who? Oh, him? Excuse, what?
Well, I can't do comedy, so these are the only callbacks I can do.
Wait, what now?
I've only had 2 weird things with luggage. One of them got lost, but that was the only time I've ever flown and my flights kept getting delayed. Mm-hmm. It was when I went to Washington, D.C. to see my boyfriend, and when I was leaving that trip, I was in the airport, as soon as I get home, I have to break up with them because I hated him. And then, my flight got delayed for 12 hours. I was in the airport for 12 hours waiting, and I didn't get home. I was supposed to get home, I think, at 2:30 in the afternoon. I got home at 2:30 in the morning to Tampa. Yeah, so who knows where my bag ended up, but it didn't show up for 3 more days, and some Uber guy had to bring it to my house. But
my God.
Yeah, and then the trip after that, me and my cousin went to LA, and I had a checked bag, and we get there, it's midnight in Los Angeles. I had just flown across the country. I'm super tired, and I see my bag come around on the carousel, and I'm like, why does it look wet? Because it's a hot pink suitcase, so there was a really dark patch on it, and it looked I was like, did something explode? Because I always put all my shit in bags, in Ziplocs and stuff, because I don't want to get conditioner everywhere. And I'm like, what the fuck? So it comes closer, and as it gets closer, I just, the spot I realize is, the whole suitcase is wet, except, a little spot.
Oh, no.
And as soon as I go to pull it off, I get hit with this, it smelled like Italian dressing. Some motherfucker checked Italian dressing on a cross-country flight and didn't secure it, so it exploded. Because there's,
God.
Things will explode up there because the cargo isn't pressurized like the cabin is.
Yeah.
It must have been gallons.
Oh my God.
Fucking gallons of Italian dressing. And it was only a weekend trip, so everything that I had was soaked in Italian dressing.
Oh my God.
It was disgusting. Yeah.
No.
So I'm in the Southwest, baggage claim talking to the people, I was like, my bag is soaking wet with shit. And the lady was like, are you sure it's like not something from in your... I was like, come smell this, lady. So she came around. She's like, oh, girl, yeah. So they either offered me... So they gave me gloves and garbage bags to like clean my own stuff up. They didn't even help at all. And so I'm sitting there grabbing all of my underwear for the weekend, putting it in a clear plastic bag. Everyone in LAX saw all my thong underwear, and my fucking bitch ass cousin is like, you got pickled panties. Like, that is not the support that I need right now. So I finally get it cleaned up. They give me like a $75 voucher, and we call the Uber or whatever. And I was so fucking embarrassed because when we pulled up to our destination, he popped the trunk. It smelled his whole... Yeah. It smelled like sweet tomatoes in his fucking trunk. And he didn't say anything, and he didn't rate me bad, but I was like, we're all looking at each other. I'm like, I know you smell that. Yeah. And he's looking at me like, you dirty bitch. And I'm thinking, do I really want to explain to him what happened right now, or just let him think that I'm a salad panty? Like, I don't know what.
You're like, listen, I'm cosplaying as a garden tomato salad. Like,
yes, I'm here for the convention. Okay. You wouldn't understand. It's a subculture.
It's a thing.
Yeah, so ever since then, I was like, I have to have a hard-sided suitcase if I ever go anywhere again.
Oh, yeah.
I'm traumatized. Like, and so we stayed with our friend, and we were up to like 3 a.m. scrubbing the suitcase with Dawn dish detergent, and it's still, I feel like if I went out to my garage and like got real in it, I still might smell it.
Wow.
Yeah. It was fucking it was traumatizing.
That is awful. Like, out of all the things that could happen on an airplane, I feel like that's one that's so you never expect a
and my cousin
dressing.
One time had somebody who had a bottle of bleach, and it exploded in the cargo area and got bleach.
Oh my god! Why?
Yeah. Why?
Bleach costs like $2. Why do you need to bring it on an airplane?
Exactly. Oh. What are you buy another bottle when you land? What are you doing? And they only gave him like, because it ruined everything in the suitcase, and I think they gave him like $175. You can't buy a whole new wardrobe for $175.
Nope.
Like what?
Damn, I would have been like, actually, like, I had a wedding dress in there.
Yeah. These airlines are playing games, because I feel like with pain and suffering, I feel like I was owed more than $75 because I was like pickled panties all weekend. And like,
I mean, how did you even get that smell
we washed it, but it was, I can't swear if it would have been better or worse, but I want to tend to say that ranch would have been better because it's thicker and it wouldn't like...
Out of your mind. How would it have been better than Italian dressing?
Because Italian is oil-based and it just
First
like
of all,
penetrated.
Italian dressing is way less fattening than ranch dressing.
We're not talking about caloric intake, okay? We're talking about the viscosity of it, because I feel like it is so much more liquidy. It just penetrated everything. God. And there was oil stains like legitimate oil stains.
Do you want to figure the bathroom real quick?
Yeah, no, we can pause. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news, but on August 4th, I'm patrolling Facebook, and I saw this article, and the headline was, "Man loses penis to infection, doctor builds new one on his arm." And as you can see by this picture, he has a dick hanging off of his forearm.
Any more details on this one, Amanda?
I mean, can we just say for a second that women can't even go topless in public, but this dude can have his dick out when he's like putting in his pin on his debit card machine.
I mean, like, does this give you like major like SpongeBob SquarePants vibes, where he could just like grow any like body part? Like, I don't know.
He's just repopulating on.
Yeah, literally.
I guess this is from Britain. It's a British man who lost his penis to a severe blood infection now has a new one built on his arm. Malcolm McDonald, whose surgeons were able to add an extra 2 inches to... Wait a minute. How did he get a bigger one? That's not fair.
Oh my god.
And he's 45, so...
Oh.
He reportedly nicknamed the appendage Jimmy, and can now find humor in the situation while he awaits the final procedure. So I guess it's like how they grow ears on pigs' backs. He's growing the dick on his arm, and then when it's ready, they're gonna put it where it goes.
How do you think he hides it? Like,
how could he? Because he's even wearing a long sleeve shirt right now, and he would still be, especially an extra 2 inches is a lot.
Do you think he like binds it like to his
By the looks of him, no. I feel like he shows it off. Look at him.
Yeah, this man doesn't have shame. He nicknamed it Jimmy. Like, he's cool. He's down. He's down with anything.
Malcolm McDonald awaits a surgery to transfer the constructed penis from his arm to its rightful place. Isn't that what they say when someone's gonna, like, take the throne? I feel like the wording of this article...
His
Majesty, yeah.
Yes.
Take your rightful place on the throne.
Man, I'm fascinated by this story. Like, wow.
I just... And
how horrifying, actually.
Does insurance pay for that?
I mean, maybe this is an experiment. Like, maybe he's just getting it done because it's, like, super experimental or whatever. Wow.
I want to know how he's peeing right now.
Do you think he gets erect on his arm?
I was going to ask that.
Do you think when he flexes... like
when you were saying how does he hide it, like, if he gets excited, does, like, it just rip through his shirt like the Hulk? The buttons go flying.
Oh no.
That would be so upsetting.
Oh my gosh. I love that's so fucking funny. I mean,
luckily he lives in the UK, but could you imagine if he lived in like Florida and he was like an avid beach goer or something? Like,
yeah, like
you see a guy in a rash guard and he just has like a hard dick coming out of his arm. Like, what are you?
Oh. Ugh. Do you think? I mean, does it look like a penis?
They won't show it. I don't know. I mean,
I want to see.
If he doesn't have his own channel on Pornhub, he's really missing out.
Really
he needs to get an OnlyFans.
Have you seen the porn of the guy with the 2 working dicks?
No. Are they side by side?
They're one over, one under. He's got 2
So
working
you can
dicks.
DP with one dude?
Mm-hmm. I've seen it.
Where do you find that at?
What do you mean? You can look up man with 2. There's only like one. There's the one guy.
Is he a white guy?
He's a white guy. Yeah. And they're decently sized. It's crazy.
Do you know how unfair that is? There's some guys who can't even get one that's worth a damn, and this guy has 2 good ones?
Exactly. He's what? I mean, he's not cute, but he has 2 dicks, so it doesn't really matter.
so he gets extra points already.
Yeah.
But does that make him double horny or regular? Like, I have questions.
Ooh. I mean, he's got to be double horny.
Would they come at the same time?
Oh, I don't know.
Like, are they hooked up to all the same plumbing on the inside, I guess,
I can't remember. Actually.
And don't guys say that they like pee all wonky in the morning? It like shoots out in different directions.
That's true. It might be like one of those car noodles like in front of a car wash.
He just has to pee in the shower because that's the only place that it's like safe because it just goes fucking willy-nilly. God.
I feel, man, those are all great questions, Amanda. And I didn't consider this because I was not thinking about that. To be honest, man, I saw. Speaking of porn, we're gonna get disgusting. Okay,
yeah, no,
audience.
go.
All right. Speaking of porn, I posted this on Twitter, but I was watching porn. It was 2 guys like Eiffel Towering a lady, you know, like one in the back, one in the front, and they just kept like high-fiving.
Did they high five her at all?
No, they were.
Because that's rude.
They were high-fiving each other.
But like she can't get any slaps. Like, she deserves something, right?
Well, they were like, I mean, she was obviously getting something. Like she was having a good time.
I've
Like,
only ever known one man who admitted to Eiffel Towering, and they are someone who would Eiffel Tower for sure.
Oh my
gosh.
Like,
do you think the French appreciate that like all these things are named after them?
Definitely.
They're owning it. Like,
is it like like
what would a Lady Liberty be?
Lady Liberty,
beating your wife? I don't know. Like, what's like, American?
Fucking over the poor. So you just fuck over a poor person. You're like suspended above.
They can't move. They just have to take it.
Oh yeah, God. They just have to take it. They catch the drippings. Trickle down economics.
Fuck. Creeping over the homeless is trickle down economics.
My God.
Wow.
Yep.
Wow.
Oh shit.
My God.
I think. Can I make that into a rap? I feel like
yeah,
that'd be great.
I think you can.
Oh,
the guy with 2 dicks could like honestly he could cover all of Skid Row probably. Like if we're trying to get like the most bang for our buck.
Oh my God.
Lord have mercy.
Wow.
Porn is such a weird thing because the second it's over, you're like, I need 5 showers. I need to like clean my eyeball. Like,
I'm going to church.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't even go to church, but which one is open right now? Yeah, right. I need the Catholics to bring out the smoke bombs. Oh
my gosh, do you think do you know anything about Catholicism with the confessionals and stuff?
I've never been to one, but I mean, I know some stuff.
Yeah. Do you think they're doing like Zoom confessionals, where it's like, oh, I mean,
I don't know.
How fun would that be, though? Right? You call up your local priest to
listen. I feel like confessionals are like, I don't know. I feel like they need like a Joan Rivers type who's in that, someone who loves tea, like someone who lives for the tea. Yes. That would be their perfect job. If they would just take out the no sex thing, I feel like they would get a lot. I feel like that would really clean up the Catholic Church, honestly, if they took out the no sex, because they wouldn't feel so repressed. They might not be touching boys all the time. And they would get some real fun people in the confessional.
Exactly. Like
a fun you don't want to feel judged. You want to fun back and forth.
I'm sorry, but can you imagine like a Hugh Carey as like a fucking priest?
Can you imagine? Just first of all, he would probably call you a bitch. Like, wait a minute, bitch.
Yes, literally. Like, I want that desperately.
We need an openly gay parishioner to be in the confessional booth.
Please.
What? Like, maybe we could start our own religion where that's what it's
the exact same structure without the guilt and without the pedophilia.
More sass, more fun. Yeah. You walk away feeling like, okay, I can tackle my life rather than shame.
Right. Oh,
we might need to
start a cult, probably. I think we got to.
And purple. I feel like purple robes would be appropriate too, because that's fun. Like,
we're gonna keep all the costumes. They're not costumes.
It's all Liberace inspired. There's like bedazzling everywhere, capes even.
Oh, they gotta be capes.
Yeah, it's like if Elton John and Liberace started a religion, that's the aesthetic that I'm going for.
Big collars,
rhinestones everywhere.
Oh, please,
fuck it up. Yeah,
sounds fun.
What would you call it though? We'll have to come up with a good name for it.
Catholicism 2.
2.0, yeah.
Too horny, too fun. There we go.
But the number 2?
Yeah. Too horny,
so it's like
too
edgy
fun.
a little bit. I have been seeing, I don't know if people are just really, I talked about this a little bit with JJ last week, but I want to talk to it with a woman, to talk about it with a woman, because I've been seeing a lot more PDA lately, and it's going to unacceptable levels, I feel like.
What did you see?
For the one thing that really stands out in my mind is last week I'm driving down 19, which is like a 6-lane highway, and there's a bus stop on the side of the road, and there is this couple that is like tongues down each other's throat. The girl is like leaning backwards, the guy has his hand behind her head, and they're like going at it on the side of the road. I don't want to see that shit.
No.
If there is any possibility that the guy is getting hard or the girl is getting wet by what you're doing in public, I don't want to see it. That is like the Skype orgasm. It's like, it's too much. I feel like I'm like prying into your personal life. That's not for me to see.
Yeah, I guess everyone's pent up.
Well, you know what I think? Maybe because there is a new rule where you can't get on the bus without a mask. So maybe they usually make out on the bus, and they're like, we got to get it in before we sit down.
There you go.
Because we don't want to get kicked off. We got to go where we're going. But like,
I mean, you can't really kiss through your mask.
Yeah, I mean, I have been in love before, and I've never thought, let's do it right here at the bus stop. We got to do it now. Like, I've never.
Fair enough.
Maybe I haven't had healthy relationships in my life, which, I mean, that's
I mean, that's certainly true.
Yeah, but like, is that a marker where you're like, we gotta get it out of the bus stop?
You're very normal. I don't. That's so strange.
Because there was another couple, and my link wasn't working, but there was a couple who was fucking on the beach too.
What?
Yeah, and like a grandma video recorded it and was like waiting for the police to show up. But they said they were getting it on for an hour at the beach. First of all, are you trying to make pearls? Like, could you imagine all that sand in your vagina? An hour-long fucking at the beach?
Oh, God.
You can't even eat a sandwich at the beach without getting sand in it, and you're gonna fuck me? Like, I don't think so. I don't think so.
The chafing.
Just so much is wrong with that. And it was broad daylight, and it was like on a family. Can you fuck on a nudist beach? Is that allowed? What are the rules on a nudist beach?
I don't know. I know the people there definitely be fucking. I mean, that's a given, but they probably don't, right?
I don't. Well,
there has to be.
But
structure.
who monitors? Are there nudist cops that monitor that? Because you know how it's like cool to. Ooh, it's cool to get like the motorcycle cop job. Are there people who are like, ooh, I hope I get selected for the nudist beach patrol?
Yes. Oh my god, I'm just imagining like a nude guy just on one of those hoverboards. Like, excuse me. Get off of each other.
But what, like, if you're a nudist cop, what do you just have, like, the necklace badge? That's all you have on?
Yeah.
And a holster?
Oh, you know what? That's kind of hot.
I know. I'm like, is this a new lane of porn that we might?
This is nude.
That can be the patron. The nudist cop can be the patron saint of our new church.
Yes, I love that.
Because he's not the all cops are bad cops. He's the one good one.
I was just gonna say that.
He's the one
all
good one.
All cops are bastards except for nude cops.
Yeah, because how can you? I mean,
he wouldn't be able to hold a gun anywhere.
But I think that the guy with 2 dicks needs to do it. Because you can't have a little dick guy trying to.
His schedule is he's booked, honey. He is booked.
But could you imagine a guy with a chode rolling up and trying to enforce shit? Nobody would respect them.
Oh, are you just talking about cops now?
Well, that's what But we don't know for sure what's under there. We just assume. But if you see it coming. And it's a little baby boy, and like you're gonna be like, "Fuck you, dude! Grow some more inches. Get one on your arm, grow some more inches, and then come to me correct." But like.
I mean,
maybe all cops should be nude cops because then, like, we could see what they're really about. I think it'll bring them down a notch. Humble them is what I'm saying.
They do need to be humbled.
Humble them because you know that they're not all packing heat in that way.
Not all cops are small.
All cops have small hogs.
Yeah. I love that. All cops have small hogs.
Because I feel like motorcycle cops used to be much more of a thing. And then the other day when I was driving through Tampa, I saw one on the interstate for the first time in a really long time. And I was just thinking like, because I don't know. Are they the laughing stock of the motorcycle community?
Probably.
Because I know I'm stereotyping here, but motorcyclists are known to be outlaws sometimes.
Yeah.
Biker gangs.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
you're probably right. I mean, like, that's wild to me that motorcycle cops are still a thing because it's so fucking dangerous. It's like, why are you risking your life
right?
like
and
that?
it's like, what is the advantage of that on the interstate?
Advantage?
Especially,
you can get shot more easily. You can get beat up more easily.
You can get road rash.
The dangers are everywhere.
What if they started doing wheelies and like all those like South Florida tricks and shit?
That's probably why they wanted to be a motorcycle cop. I'm going to use my powers for good.
But he was on a cruiser, so I don't know if those go on one wheel or not. Don't you have to have like a?
Oh my god! Can you imagine? Oh no. I want to see that so bad.
My neighbors that just moved in are motorcycle people and I fucking hate them.
Oh, I bet.
Because they're not like cruising motorcycle people. They have like crotch rockets and now a dirt bike for some reason that they ride up and down the street. Jeez. And they always try to like do mechanics on it for some reason. They don't start until 8 p.m. That's when they're like, let's work on the motorcycle, but we have to run the engine the entire time too. And that's how I know that I'm getting like old and crotchety because I'm like, God damn it.
I mean, fuck's sake. Me too. But I'm always crotchety. So I know. I
feel like I'm pretty laid back, but there are some things where I'm just like, get off my fucking porch. Like,
dude, I don't understand people. Like, my dad does the same thing. Like, it'll be 8 p.m. I don't know if he, like, it's probably ADD. Like, my dad's definitely ADD.
Yeah.
But, like, he's like, okay, it's 8 p.m. I gotta wash my car right now. I'm like, what's wrong with you?
But at least that isn't that loud of an activity. But it's like, if you're weed whacking, working on a dirt bike, any of that shit before a certain time there is a safe zone to do that. When the sun is clearly up, you can make all the noise you want to.
That's going to be one of our commandments.
Yes, that is the first commandment. When the sun is up, do what you will, but don't be loud after hours, motherfucker. Because I'm watching Netflix in here.
Time. Okay.
I just remembered, I did watch the next episode of that show, and it was about ayahuasca and all the people going to Peru. And apparently there's a church in Orlando that does it. It's called like the New Hope Church, and it's in Orlando.
Is that one of those churches that were converted from like an old car dealership?
Probably.
Okay.
I think it was, because it's like, if you're a religious organization, then you can do it. So they just have all these people there, and they're just fucking tripping out.
Dude.
I wanted to look it up and see where in Orlando it was, because I don't want to go there, but I do want to just get in their business a little bit.
Have you ever? You want to try or no?
No, okay. I don't know. I don't know. I think it might be too intense for me. I'm not saying I would never try it in the future, but right now I have no desire.
The experience, I've had friends who've done it, and it's like the experience sounds like the most unpleasant thing on earth.
Yeah, the intensity
like you shit yourself,
it. Yeah, throw up. Yeah,
like, you know, you could either have the best time of your life or the worst time of your life. I'm like, listen, if I'm shitting and throwing up,
it's already the worst
like,
time.
I'm not having a good day. Like,
yeah,
what the fuck? It's
that's like
so
the worst
strange.
hangover day of your life, but you're doing it on purpose. You're like, I'm just gonna shit. It's fine. Like,
yeah,
I don't want to pay somebody $3,000 and just shit myself. I mean, I can go to Taco Bell.
Yeah,
and that's $5.99, and I get a whole meal. Like, what?
I was like, shit.
If we're talking about budgeting,
you can buy
here,
a Taco Bell for $3,000.
Yeah, I could
Jesus.
I could have a franchise of Taco Bell for one ayahuasca trip, and shit all I want to. I'm thinking economics here. Trickle down economics is on the brain.
Do you remember? Oh my god! Do you remember when we were hanging out with Hugh and JJ, and he was like, let's do acid right now. I'm like, you are fucking crazy.
Listen, I woke up the next morning and I had the video of Hugh doing cartwheels, and I was like, okay, apparently I got blacked out last night because
you and I feel like we got, like, we were drinking.
Wait, wasn't that the day that I was at Water Club?
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm almost positive. Yeah. Like, it was crazy.
That day was not my proudest moment. I was fucking on one. I was talking about this with JJ. I was like, apparently I can get talked into a lot of shit when I'm drunk, because I tried to go to an innocent brunch. I ended up at like a music video shoot, and then I came over to Hugh's house later that night. I'm like, I need to take my ass home.
My favorite moment about that night was when, like, you and I just both looked at each other and we were like, oh no.
Yeah,
like,
we're
slow
like,
motion. Like,
I mean, luckily he didn't have any at the house, but I feel like if he did, it would have come out. And I
feel like you would have said yes. And I was like, I'm on another planet too.
I hope that I would not have said yes, but I don't know what it is.
I wouldn't mind trying it one day.
Acid scares me. Well, I mean, I've only done mushrooms twice, and I've only actually tripped one time, but like man-made stuff freaks me out, because I'm like, who made this? What do they even know what they're doing?
True.
Which, I mean, you could get bad mushrooms too, I guess, but the chances of that, it's like,
yeah, you're right. Mushrooms first.
Because I mean, how many mushrooms will kill you?
Guess you're right.
I'm sure there are maybe some, but
I have no idea. Like,
I don't know. It just freaks me out. And I feel like acid, there's been people that like don't come back from that. Like, you don't know if you are someone who's going to have a psychotic meltdown until it happens to you. And those are some dice that I don't feel comfortable rolling.
Yeah, that's yeah.
Because it could be amazing, but I also could never like be back in my mind again. Which, I mean, I'm not saying this place is the best place to be. Obviously, we've talked about it. Like, there,
let's open the door to another room.
My mind is a crack home already, but I'm like, I could be homeless.
True.
At least there's shelter in here of some sort.
Oh my god.
Yeah, psychedelics. I'm still like a wimp when it comes to that kind of. Some people will. They don't give a damn.
Some people
will take anything you hand them, and I'm like, don't you want to live, bitch? Like, what? Like, have you ever done ecstasy?
No.
Me either. No. That shit scares me too, because
I do ecstasy. That seems fine to me. I'd only. But the thing is, what's the point of doing ecstasy when you're just at home? Chilling.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Why? Well, you're supposed to do it at like a club and you're having a good time, and then like, but I'm not. But I feel like
also if you don't, and this is just the scenario that I've made up in my own head. But if there's not someone there doing glow sticks, is it even ecstasy?
You could be a person who brings in the glow sticks,
but I can't. And I don't be have like, the finger coordination to be flipping them like that.
Listen, doesn't matter as long as you got the confidence. Listen, you can make a rave anywhere you want. It doesn't matter. Like a McDonald's.
If you're dedicated enough, anywhere can be a rave.
It's very, yep.
If you cut the power at Publix and have your fucking... if you have your glow sticks on you, anywhere can be a party.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never... I knew this girl in high school whose mom died doing ecstasy.
Whoa.
Yeah, it was... But I mean, this was like in the 90s, so I feel like that was happening a lot more back in the 90s when people were doing like dirty ecstasy, and now pretty much everyone just does straight MDMA.
Right, yeah.
So I think they've like cleaned up their act a little bit, but yeah, she died.
Oh,
and I always thought about that. I'm like, God damn, could you imagine like your mom And you were like a fully formed kid. You weren't a baby. You were like in elementary school and your mom is still partying so hard where she's like, fuck it.
Jesus.
Yeah, like that. Because I have kids. So I always think that I'm like, I don't want to do anything where I'm like, I might not be here tomorrow because I was trying to have too good of a time type of shit.
Yeah.
But like, and my mom always like made me really paranoid about shit like that. Like, I was really scared to drink because when I was in high school and stuff, because I used to think that every time you would drink, you would get so drunk you would throw up and like aspirate on, because that happens to like 1 in a million people.
Jesus, you have not changed even a little bit. Oh my God.
I've been fucking
Baby
crazy.
Amanda is just having panic attacks.
I have been like, yes, this is not new for me, because my mom's favorite singer was this guy named Keith Whitley, and that's how he died, because he was a terrible alcoholic and he threw up and died in his own vomit.
Yeah, that
and I was
one
like,
of my friends too.
Yeah, I'm like, I can't go to this party on Saturday. I'm gonna like fucking die in the pool. We weren't even swimming, but like this.
The pool you were thinking about was just their bathtub.
God, yeah, and I used to also, when I would drink, I used to get butt naked because I didn't want to throw up on my clothes. That was another thing. Yeah, there was a lot happening.
Yeah.
There's a lot to unpack here.
Dude, whenever I get cross-faded, it is like the craziest time on earth. Like I could not believe how quickly I was affected that one time. I was like, the time we hung out.
Oh yeah.
I was like,
no, crossfaded is people who can and people who like that. I'm like, you're another level of hardcore, because if I'm already drunk and I smoke weed, it is like Elon Musk fucking put me into outer space. I'm that fucking spaceman in the Tesla in orbit. I don't know what's happening. Am I ever coming down? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just in my spacesuit. Like,
literally, that was you and I that night. We were like,
well, that's what happened to me at the Christmas party too, when I went to the Something Planet Christmas party. You know, there's that meme of that guy that has the little sunglasses on and he's in the mirror, like when you go to the mirror at the party. That literally was me. I went to the bathroom and I looked and I was like, bitch, what?
Who's that?
And I had on like the most ridiculous outfit. I had on like a backpack cooler, and like there was just so many elements happening.
The one time I got crossfaded like a few years ago at a party, and this weed was fucking crazy. I've never smoked anything like it in my entire life. I remember I was talking, like I'd be talking to somebody and it was just a bubble and I was like, anyways, and I was talking to them and I couldn't see the other person sitting next to me, so I'd be talking about that person sitting next to me and I couldn't see them, so I'd just be like, anyway, she sucks, doesn't she? She'd be like right there, and then I would go over and talk to her and she's like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I was like, what?
Listen, that is one thing you don't want to do, is be talking shit when you're crossfaded, because your motor skills are out the window.
Yep.
You're
girl.
like a paraplegic at that point, and
oh my god. And then it was a pool party. And
see, look, pools are a real factor. You gotta be worried.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong, because I like had a bathing suit on, and then after I went in the pool, I was like, no, I'm done, and I took it off, put on my bra and panties, went back to the party. And then I got crossfaded, and then I was like, yeah. And then I took off my clothes, and it was just my bra and panties.
Oh, I thought you meant everything.
No, and then I forgot I had changed. So I was like in my bra and panties in my fucking.
But were they full backs?
Were they what?
Were they full back underwear?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't remember.
Because that would have been like another level of like.
But it was so stupid. And then my ex-boyfriend is just like, just gone. He's just throwing up in like a trash can. Like it is, he's just out, and I'm like, wee.
Well, when I always wonder like what men think about, like, because drunk men and drunk women usually don't go the same lane.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's like usually really wasted men, like sometimes they get aggressive. They want to start wrestling. They're like, let me show you how strong I am. All this shit.
Wrestling.
Women start getting naked for some, like, it's like, so I always wonder, like, I guess I've never gotten wasted and my partner was sober, but I could only imagine like if there's like a fly on the wall and me in my drunkest state, like at Hugh's house the other night, if there was somebody who was with me, like if there was a sober person at that party, what the fuck would they be thinking?
Oh my God, I know. I think JJ was the closest thing to sober, I think. I remember JJ kept staring at me and like, I kept asking him, I'm like, are you high? He's like, no, I'm fine, Marie. Are you good? And I was like, no.
He must have been high.
I think he was, because he literally, I was the scariest thing in the world. I swear to God, I had like spoken in tongues or some shit. Like, he was staring. It was really funny.
But sometimes you do get so fucked up where you can't understand words. Like, you don't know what people are saying to you anymore, and you're just like, what?
I'm gonna do it again.
I haven't been. Yeah, I was gonna say I haven't been crunked up in a while, but I just went to water club. Because I'm a fucking cheap ass bitch. Like, I don't go to places where they're having like bottle service. That is not my MO. I'm in like the dive bar, maybe a bowling alley.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm a bowling alley bitch. So when I go somewhere where people are wearing like fake eyelashes that cost more than my handbag and stuff, I'm like, I don't know. I don't fit in with these people. And it was literally a fucking music video. Like, these girls were twerking in the pool and everybody had on like all this expensive shit. And I'm like,
that sounds pretty fun though. But still,
we were talking about it, and I think we're going to have a girls' day there back at Water Club one time, and you're invited, because just the people watching alone is something. There's something to be said for it. And they were bringing out because they were getting have you ever gone to the club and they like bring out the bottle service? Like,
no, not that kind of person. I'm
not either, but somehow this has happened. I mean, not a lot, but I mean, maybe like 5 times in my life this has happened to me. And they usually, I guess because it was outdoors, they didn't, but they usually have like sparklers in the bottle, and there's like a hoe train that brings them out. It's like all the like waitresses in no clothes, and they're like, woo. And but yeah, they charge you like $200 for a $40 bottle of liquor. That's like how they.
That's right. Yeah. Oh God.
Oh, so I feel like also our church might need a liquor license.
Definitely.
We can, and it's all tax-free. Tax-free money. This is like the art of the deal here. Like,
committing just as many scams and tax fraud.
Listen, tax-free liquor profit. I could get behind that.
Oh my God.
All we need to do is open up our own water club, and it'll be poppin'. You can be in the confessional booth, poolside. You can sit in the pool and then be
floaties, just hanging out in the pool.
Instead of a swim up bar, they have a swim up confessional.
I love that.
Listen, I just got jacked off in the deep end. Please forgive me. They're like, bitch, you're already forgiven.
It wasn't even a sin.
Yeah, if you didn't come, it doesn't count. It's fine. Right?
Sure.
Well, I don't think it's going to get much better than that. We can wrap this show up.
Let's do it.
We have to come up with our business plan for our new church.
Yep.
As always, I'm Amanda Wilson. Marie, you want to give out your social media?
Yes, I am Marie. You can find me on Twitter at PleaseChillDude and on Instagram of the same. I'm also on TikTok, which is a failure, but yeah.
But are you upset that it's going to get taken away?
No, I don't care that much.
Are you going to start doing Instagram Reels? Are you going to?
No, I don't. Listen,
you're not going to migrate.
If I'm not immediately, I'm such a shithead when it comes to immediate gratification, man. I'm fine with that. I don't care. Maybe I'll go on Reels. Who knows?
We'll see. Check back in. If you're following her, you'll find out if she goes on Reels or not. That's the only. You'll get the live updates.
Alrighty.
All right, you guys. I'll be back next week. Have a good one. Stay safe. Bye.
Bye.